Welcome into another episode of the Film Room. I'm really excited to be joined today by Maria Gakdeng from over at the University of North Carolina. Maria, first and foremost, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. It's been pretty dope getting to watch the Tar Heels take on this year, put together one hell of a season so far. Obviously, a big game coming up against Cal tomorrow. Um, knowing this is your senior year, your last one around the block, how has that felt? Has that kind of set it in for you yet?
Honestly, it feels like I've been in college for a long time. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people say it flies by, but I think just being at two different schools, having two different experiences, it's felt like such a long time. But I feel like I've learned so much and I've been able to develop my game. Going from Boston College to here was a huge like step, especially like the competition we play. So that's a part of the reason I want to come, just to develop to become a pro. So all those things are being fulfilled, which is great.
No, absolutely. And just your game is like taking that next step this year. Obviously, always been a steady player, but I think this year you've been, in my opinion, one of the best bigs in the ACC. In terms of like that extra level though, like was there something that you changed up this offseason or just like a mindset shift or um what was kind of like the work coming into this year to set up what's been such a successful season?
I think it was a mindset shift, honestly. I think going into this year, obviously I knew it was my last year, I knew what I wanted to accomplish. And I had goals that I had set out, after the season ended last year. I kind of, we have the end of the season meetings with our coaches, and I kind of talked to coach about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to accomplish, personally and as in like for the team. So, being a captain this year, I knew I had to step it up, off the court and on the court. So just continuing to like work on like my confidence. I feel like that's the biggest thing that has changed from last year to this year.
I
So like
agree.
last year I was like definitely like getting accustomed to the new like program, playing for a team that competes against like some of the best teams in the country and being one of the best teams in the country. So I feel like my confidence was shaken a little bit last year, but this year it's been like I know who I am, I know what I need to do. I get out there and I just accomplish it.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a great way to put it because just from afar, getting to watch you, I feel like that's the biggest thing in your game is how aggressive you are, just like going out and taking what's possible on the floor, which is a lot of what we're going to go through today. But like, I mean, you're shooting close to 70% at
Mhm.
the rim this year, which is like pretty wild. I'm not sure if you're aware that's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. Um, but it stands out. I mean, you can score on anybody, and I think so much of it is just not hesitating. Like you're going out, seeing your opportunities and taking it, and also your defense. Like I think I've always liked what you can do on the defensive end of the court, but this year, I mean, you guys have taken that leap to being one of the best defensive teams in the country, and I think a lot of that has been what you've done in terms of like, film work or just learning the game, getting more nuance in it. I feel like that's really popped up this year. Is that something that you felt?
Yeah, definitely. Especially being a very mobile big, I've been able to help the guards a lot with like a lot of the tough guards we play against, but also we play against a good post players. We play against good teams in general. So being able to post to defend in the post is really important, but also being able to like be helpful to guards because we have a lot of good guards in ACC that can play really well out of ball screen action. So
No, absolutely. Last thing I want to ask before we get into watching stuff. So, did you know that you haven't taken a jump shot yet this year?
I think I took one, but I
It
missed. Like
technically
I
isn't
was.
recorded in Synergy, so
Oh, really?
it's not.
Okay,
Yeah,
then.
it's not
Yeah.
like it happened.
I do. It's something that I work on a lot, but I feel like a lot of the times, like since I'm the five, they want me down low,
Yeah,
just there. And that's where I get majority of that's usually where I get the ball. I do kind of when we do roll eyes action, I do like call for the ball in the mid post, just to shoot that shot. But I know I'm very confident in the shot. I will take it, given the opportunity, but I just there hasn't been one. There hasn't been
yeah.
many.
No, absolutely. I think it's something that
Yeah.
we can continue to see. Like I mean, you did it at Boston College. We got to see that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, just excited to see how you keep growing in that. Systems play a big part in what the game looks
Yeah.
like. But it was interesting to see what you thought. All right, I want to start with your defense because to me, like you just mentioned, I think your defense is what really sets the table for you to be this level of player, right?
Mhm.
And like you mentioned in terms of helping the guards, I think again that's been a big part of what set things apart. Like you guys can really just play a lot of different coverages and attack things. So as we're going through, I just want to start like let's watch a clip and then you tell me what you're seeing as we're going through it.
Yeah.
So getting right into early offense, as soon as you're getting, okay, quick ball screen, what
Yeah.
are the things you're thinking when this is happening?
I'm thinking. our coverage was over for
Mhm.
this player, so I knew I had to be helpful there. I think I was a little bit too low, but I know that I kind of recovered well. She ended up
Mhm.
missing the layup, but like I think I needed to be a little bit higher in that screen. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think that's one of the fun parts in this game is how much you guys mixed around with that because of how they were coming out of the screens. But I think like this shows out, number one, you're so good at using your length
Hmm.
to just bother things. So even when this looks like it should be an open layup, I mean, I think this, I want to say this was a block. I know she misses it, but it was close. Regardless, you had an impact on it.
Yeah.
So it stands out that you're able to make that recovery. So right here too, again, with an early drag screen in a different game, obviously. How are you, what's thought process here kind of feeling this one out?
Just going over the ball screen coverage, I think it was also over for this one.
Hmm.
Um, but stepping up, knowing she likes to shoot like kind of ball screens, but being disruptive, just using my length so she doesn't see like open passes. So she takes a shot or she passes it out. But I know that
Yeah.
I can whatever shot she wants to take. So
No, absolutely. Because right here, I mean, yeah, like you said, you take away, there's no pocket here, gonna
mhm.
be a midi. It's good stuff. Also, this game, I'll say it for you. Don't say anything, but the
Yeah,
reffing in this game, woo, buddy. So this is like my
yeah,
third time watching it, and going back through it, I was like, wow, what the hell happened this one? But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
yeah. That,
Um,
that game was crazy. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Um, so getting into another one from the
Mhm.
ND game in terms of, kind of changing up drops and stuff.
Mhm.
Now that we're a little bit later in this game, we've had a couple hit already. What's
Mhm.
process feeling like here?
I knew that like I think Notre Dame has some of the best guards in the country, honestly. So
Without a doubt.
I think this was a big defensive assignment for me, especially knowing that they like to play in ball screen actions and like they can get whatever they want usually out of ball screen action. So my main thing, what coach wants us to do is just help. I mean, not worry about my own, worry about where the ball is and getting the ball out of, a guard who can kind of create for their team, getting the ball out of her hand instead. And then obviously, yeah,
Yeah, works pretty well on this one. And
yeah.
again, like you're able to get out, change up direction, don't give up the straight line drive, and then yeah, I mean that's pretty nice. Can't complain about that one. So right here, getting into some stuff going on away from the ball.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, as soon as I want to say you guys are icing in this game, when it's anything on the sidelines, um,
Yes.
feeling this out, like knowing, okay, seeing she's going to turn the corner and
Yeah.
knowing, all right, you're guarding somebody who's more of a pick and pop threat. How does that kind of change up
Yeah.
things for you?
I think we play the way we play defense is we depend on each other. So I expected either Grace or Liz to help over if the girl did pop. She hadn't hit any shots at this point, I think, but I knew that the ball's most important. So I gave Sonia a step there so she wouldn't, beat me to the rim. But we ended up helping each other out there, getting a
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, do a really good job here. Yeah, I mean, especially being able to use the baseline as your friend, I feel like is such a
Mhm.
big advantage. You do a great job with your angles here. To me, that's like what's changed the most for you defensively over the last year or two is like how well you use angles and kind of those things to your advantage.
Yeah.
So getting into this one, high ball screen with somebody who's again big pick and
Yeah.
pop threat.
Yeah.
Same thing, obviously want to stick to the ball and then recover. But what do you feel, especially knowing like, okay, this is late clock, it's
Hmm.
winding down, 7 seconds left. Where are you feeling here? Kind of, is there any difference?
I would say, yeah, when it's late clock, we usually either trap or commit to when there's a ball screen because we know like she'll probably end up taking the shot because she takes a lot more of shots than Westfeld.
Hmm.
So we knew that she was gonna probably take the shot at the end of the clock. And when Lenny had fully recovered, that's when I went back to my man. So I just wait until she says she's good and then I go back to mine just in case she swings the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think great pickup point here.
Yeah.
Like when you are in a situation like this, when you're playing, it's okay, three-level score, somebody who's really high volume.
Mhm.
What's most important for you in being able to switch out on the perimeter? Like, what do you think is most important in terms of like early work and setting things up to contain the ball?
Just knowing I have to give players like that a step because she's very quick, she's a little guard, she's very quick, she can get around my hips. So making sure giving her a step and depending on my length and also depending on like my other teammates to, be helpful in those situations.
Yeah, that's such a great point because, like you said, with in terms of the giving a step, I think so often people want to just get up as close as possible. But like
Hmm.
you said, I think you're so good now at like you're able to use all of your length to your advantage. I think like sometimes bigs can, they're just big out there and they don't know how to use all of it. So being able to be in control of all that's a big step.
Hmm.
So right here, when you're away from the play technically, but it's an empty side action that ends up kind of messing with the tagging a little bit. So when you're seeing this play develop, what are the things that you're looking for and kind of thinking about?
I'm what I'm thinking is I want to be helpful in the ball screen action. Sorry about this, I mean, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I want to be helpful in ball screen action because I know that this is a good they play well in pick and pop or pick and
Hmm.
roll. So I was just being helpful there. I think I could have definitely helped over a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I was
Well,
able to still disrupt the shot.
yeah, no, you do a really good job of getting over and disrupting this. I think again, like this kind of stuff to me, big reason I pull this one is much more pro stuff, like working an empty corner, trying to
Hmm.
put, tagging in a difficult spot because they knew that you guys
Yeah.
were trying to get over and make sure that it wasn't clean. So, yeah, I just love that you were able to pick that up and make a play. So this is one of my favorite defensive possessions of your
Hmm.
season. Um, just tell me what you're thinking through going through this one.
I'm thinking don't foul, don't foul. Because I literally had like three, I think I was the third or
Yeah,
fourth
you
foul.
had you had third
So
foul already.
I was just trying not to foul. So I know that I can depend on my length, not swiping down. I just want to stay straight up, try to disrupt the shot as much as I could without fouling. So
Yeah.
yeah. I
Being
mean,
right there and straight up. I mean, hey, that works completely. But
yeah.
I wanted to point out what I love here is so often a big gets sealed out and like somebody will get around behind them. But your ability to like, I think the swim over to get back on top. I mean, obviously Liz is coming over to make a play too, but like the fact that you're able to be there, that matters. I feel like so much of defense is like just doing the little things constantly. And so I love seeing that from you. All right, getting into some offensive stuff.
Okay.
Um, I want to start off with this play because just your ability, you're so good on both sides of the glass, but particularly on offense.
Mhm.
I feel like that's one of the ways where we've really seen you be assertive this year. Um, all right, what are you feeling as this play is developing? Knowing like kind of how you're being jostled a little bit and you want to get your spot.
Yeah, they're being super physical from the tip. So I knew what they were gonna try to do. Obviously, that's how they scout it. But I knew that like I want to be a rim, like obviously be around the rim. If I can get any rebounds that I can, just go up and get them. So I've just been aggressive here, just how they were being aggressive with me. So just
Yeah,
matching energy, exceeding that.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think again that's something that we've seen a lot from you this year, is just bringing that physicality, and I've loved that because
Mhm.
well, I think yeah, you're 6'3", but you play a lot bigger than it most of the time, and it's been really
Yeah,
fun to
I
see
don't know
that
why
play
it's
out.
listed. I'm listed as 6'3", but I'm really like 6'4". Like I'm
Okay, good to know.
yeah, but
Let's
yeah.
get it updated. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. Like that, but
hey, I mean, some of the heights that people get listed with are absolutely nuts. So
yeah, I
let's
know.
can have a whole pot on that.
Yeah.
Um, So right here, especially to like getting any kind of guard screen into the post, I think you've been so good at sealing and getting positions this year. But like, what do you feel has been most important for you in establishing yourself on the block early in games?
I would say my position coach has been working me with me mostly on using my hips.
Hmm.
I used to stand straight up when I posted. So being able to bend my knees and get into the defender's hips so I can get positioning would work because if I just use my arms, it's not going to work first of all, but also like it's a foul. Like posting up like that, it's not going to work. So I knew I had to get deep position to score. So using my hips, bending my knees to get into that was important. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Having gotten to practice and play against Tiani last year, what was going into this one knowing like, okay, cool, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna get posted up. What was like knowing what she can do defensively? How does that kind of alter your approach?
Yeah, we used to play against each other all the time in practice, so I know she's a shot blocker. I know she likes to try to block shots. And she's a great player. So I knew that going into the game, Coach Walt, my position coach, was just like go straight up. If she blocks it, she blocks it. Next one, get a pump fake in and go. But I obviously made this one
Yeah.
over her. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously
Go straight
great.
up, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great footwork and then doing a great job protecting the ball with your offhand too.
Mhm.
Um, right here. So yeah, in this game, again, I think just your footwork and ability to get to multiple moves has really stood out. Like, been really good at keeping shot blockers off you by just being
Yes.
able to use the rim as your friend.
Mhm.
What was big in setting that up for you? Again, like probably working with your position coach, but in general, like I think just having all those additives is really huge.
Yeah, I would say I got a lot stronger over the summer as well. I did a lot of weightlifting. I was able to actually like do pull-ups and chin-ups, so working on my strength was a big thing over the summer. So, um, that's something that definitely helps a lot in the post. So being long and being strong, being able to, finish over shot blockers. I think Tim's is one of the best shot blockers in the country. So
Mhm.
knowing that to either pump fake or go straight into her body, use my offhand. I think I'm very good with using my offhand to finish over defenders. So knowing that, getting good position, and then also, how like I took a step on the baseline, and then I came like kind of came across her body. I worked on that a lot with my position coach as well, so I can get better position and then get into my move.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask you about that because I think that swim move that you've incorporated has been so big in like
Mhm.
getting quicker seals.
Yeah.
What was like most important in kind of setting that up and getting into it?
Being able to move the defender's body because she knows I'm going to duck in. She knows that I'm going to try to seal her. It's not a secret anymore. That's what I'm trying to do. So, getting her to move baseline with me, but and then stepping in front of her to get a deep seal, and get good positioning so I can finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the first time you pulled that one out, I was like, oh, okay. Maria's come a little different this year. I love it. Um, Getting back, yeah, you get back to the swim move again here too.
Yeah.
But I love just like the gather that you have going up to the rim right here too, because I think so often this is one of the ones where like if you just go straight up with it, I think there's a chance it gets altered or blocked.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, being able to get into that, I like a lot. Particularly with your finishing as well. We were talking about it early, but like
Mhm.
I just think you're I mean, was there anything that you changed up with how you finish or just kind of approach around the rim? Because I know like obviously we talked about being aggressive more, but
Yeah.
I think I mean just the efficiency overall has been pretty wild. You're shooting over 50% on hook shots, shooting almost 70% on layups. Like it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I would say, being more patient when going up to finishing. I know a lot of people are gonna come and try to block my shot, so I did a pump fake here, and we worked on pump faking before this game because we knew like they like to block shots in the post,
Hmm.
and in general. But I think being more patient, seeing the basket before I like lay it up. I feel like sometimes even this season, like, but more last season, I rush a lot of my layups and shots, and they either come up short or long. So being able to just, it's the easiest shot. So, being able to just put it at the top corner of the rim, I mean of the square, and being able to finish is important. So I know we need those little bunnies in crunch time, obviously. So being able to work on that in practice, before practice, is important to how we play. So
Yeah, no, 100%. And then going off that too, I mean, it might be difficult to answer, but like in terms of finding the balance of being aggressive but also not wanting to rush your shots, like how do you kind of facilitate that and like find that level? Like obviously you've done a really good job of that this year, but
yeah.
is that something that's just kind of come naturally or what has that been like?
No, it hasn't come naturally. I feel like,
Yeah.
that's something that I've learned a lot from in the past couple years, to be patient in the post, especially now that people know that I shoot really well in the post. I'm very efficient around the rim. So being patient, knowing that doubles are coming, and seeing the corners, seeing who's open, seeing whose man is helping off of them. Because sometimes it's open, it's like right to a shooter like Lexi or Laney, and we can get open three. But a lot of the times when I rushed and went into my straight into my move and didn't look to see who was coming, it was a steal or a turnover, or it was just a bad shot. So, being more patient has been crucial to how I play and how well I finish around the rim, because it allows me to just like breathe for a second and then get into my move. Because sometimes I feel like I get rushed into it, especially if we're like either down or I haven't like started as well as I want to, and I just go straight into it and I end up like messing up again. So being more patient with that has been very, very good. Very crucial to my development.
Yeah, no, that's really great insight because like you said, I think so often people think I just need to go as fast as possible and like
Yeah.
your game slowing down is what allows you to look like you're going as fast as possible in some ways,
Yeah.
right? So it's been cool to see. All right, so right here, getting into like looking at more pick and roll stuff. You guys don't run like a ton of just like straight up pick and roll, but I think that's something that I'm really excited to see what you can do with at the next level because
Yeah.
you're showing a lot of high level stuff with it. Particularly in just like getting into a seal right off this and then drawing the foul. Like you mentioned, I think that's one of the big things for you this year is like, I mean, playing against this Kentucky team, you were the best big in the front court against a very good front court.
Mhm.
Um, and you were able to like really take it to somebody who's 6'7", and that matters a ton, right? Especially when you talk about next level translation. Um, Drawing this foul, like I know it seems small, but to me, this is
Mhm.
like again one of my favorite plays from you this season. Is like you're just going right up with it, you're finding limbs, like that's really
Mhm.
good stuff. Was that something you were kind of focused on in this game, or is it just kind of played out
Yes.
like that?
Yeah. Because we talked about this, like our position, me, Walt, Blanca, we talked about how we're gonna finish over, their bigs were 6'7" and 6'5", so working on that, but he told us to just go straight up, go straight into their chest. They're gonna foul you, they're gonna swipe down. So getting them into foul trouble, but also getting to the line was really important. I think I hadn't really got to the line as much before this game, but being able to get into bodies like a lot of the times last year, even this year, sometimes I faded away from the basket, and that's why I didn't draw fouls. So being able to get into their body, making them draw the foul because they can't do anything but that, or I would make the layup. So, um, that was yeah the main thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, yeah, you're up to a career high in free throw rate this year, getting to the
Yeah.
line. You should be getting there even more with, like we said, some of the rest stuff, but we'll see. But I've loved seeing it. Going on to this next aspect. So early pick and roll.
Hmm.
As soon as you're like working in a two-player game with obviously you guys have a lot of different guards.
Yes.
What is most key for you in like creating separation for somebody, but also getting a clean roll?
I would say it starts with the screen, the angle of the screen, how where I'm sending the guard. So sending them downhill instead of like to the sideline or anywhere else is most important. Because then my defender would have to help off more. Because and setting a good screen also. I think this was a really good screen. I don't think
Yeah.
she saw it coming. She just ran straight into me, which is like I don't
Yeah.
think yeah, she didn't call the screen out. So sending the guards to, where they want to go and just running like diving hard to the basket. That's what they tell me to do every time. So I just dive hard. And I think the second half for this game was a lot different than the first half for me because I was playing a lot more aggressive.
Mhm.
So when I started to dive, I got, Grace is one of the best. She assists the ball a lot. So getting that pass from her was really good and really crucial because it shortened the lead. So
No, exactly. And I like what you said too, because getting this screen is what opens up the roll anyways. Like
yeah,
if you don't create an advantage with the screen, then there's not going to be
yeah,
a roll, right? So getting
exactly.
that is big time and then a great finish as well.
Yeah.
So right here, working into a dribble handoff and then kind of screening back. When you're working DHO stuff, what are you thinking? What are you seeing? How does that kind of change up for you compared to a like regular ball screen stuff?
Yeah, so what we kind of work on is dribbling at the defender instead of at the player. So I didn't obviously I didn't do that right here, but we worked more on dribbling into the defender so that India or whoever is coming out who's getting the ball, I mean the handoff can get downhill, and so that my defender can also help. But yeah, that's mainly what I think of when I get into handoffs.
No, definitely. And then obviously like hitting the screen back to get into this. Again, the offhand stuff, like your offhand's been so good this year, and just being able to like
Yeah,
stay away from the getting. I mean, more like getting away from the rim, not necessarily
yeah,
that it's your offhand, but um, yeah, that was great finish. Um, Into this play as well. So again, another DHO aspect, especially when you're working with somebody who's getting denied. What is like
mhm.
most key for you in opening them up and getting them the ball?
Yeah, if they're busting up the screen like that, I just kind of hold on to it because we don't want a turnover, but
Hmm.
also knowing that our guards are very they know what to do. So if I get the ball and they're busting the screen up, they either just go back door or keep coming, and then I pass it and set them a screen. So the play doesn't die right when the screen is getting busted up. So we know how to play out of that. We work on that in practice. So I trusted Renaya there to hit that shot. So
Definitely. Yeah, no, Renaya was awesome in this game.
yeah, she was.
Yeah. So last play I want to look at because you talked about it a little bit earlier with looking at patience. I think one of the things that's so interesting is like you're so good at being able to fight through double teams.
Mhm.
I think the next thing that I really want to continue to see is like you making those passes, like you mentioned, in terms of
Yeah.
like seeing that cutter. Because like right here,
Yeah, I didn't even know she was behind me, but also I think this game I rushed a lot of my shots. So that's kind of I feel like I don't know. I got kind of like I got sped up a lot this game. So
Mhm.
I didn't even see the double. So what we work on is holding it, looking at the corners. So if I did what I practiced, I would have saw um I think that's Jaden.
Mhm.
And I would have been able to like pass it to Liz or India would have saw it, but I think I was just really rushed here. So
Yeah. Well, it's tough with how Duke plays defense too. Like a lot of no
yes.
middle stuff, like you're always going to get help from places you don't always expect it. But like, I think that's the fun part because then you learn from these kinds of games to see like, how you're going to see those things the next time. So
Yeah.
excited to see that next tobacco road game we get. Um,
Yes. That's
well,
great.
Maria, that's it for the clips. I really appreciate you making the time. Again, it's been a blast watching you this season. I'm excited to see you keep taking off. Anything you want to shout or mention before we get out of here?
No, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to, keep playing the season. I feel like we're at the halfway point, so it's gonna keep picking up from here, and I can't wait to see what my team gets done. We're going to Cali this week, so hopefully get a sweep, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. A lot of great stuff up ahead. For all of those listening and watching, be sure to keep up with all things UNC women's basketball. Keep up with Maria and enjoy the rest of your